Hola, welcome to Ida's Kitchen. Bienvenidos. My name is Ida Lugo McAllister, and I am going to demonstrate how to prepare pumpkin cream cheese flan, flan de calabaza y queso crema. I will be using the carabine pumpkins from my garden that were harvested several weeks ago. These are the last few pumpkins left to cook. The pumpkins can be purchased whole or in wedges at the Latin market. Who invented the flan? The Romans had a surplus of eggs and consulted with the Greeks, who were very knowledgeable in cooking. They made a custard with eggs and cream. A sweet flan was later prepared with honey. The Spaniards, however, created the flan with the caramelized sugar. Let's prepare the caramelized sugar using the wet method. I recommend to use a heavy-bottomed saucepan for even heat distribution to prevent the sugar from burning. In a saucepan, add 1 cup of sugar and 1/4 cup of warm water over medium heat. Stir continuously until the sugar is completely dissolved. The sugar is completely dissolved when the liquid is clear and transparent. Now we can increase the heat to medium-high. This time we are going to boil the sugar mixture without stirring it. We will instead swirl the saucepan periodically to prevent the sugar from crystallizing, especially around the inside edges of the saucepan. As the sugar continues to boil, swirl the saucepan to also ensure even cooking. As you can see, the sugar mixture is starting to change to a light yellow color. At this point, you should keep an eye on the sugar mixture to prevent it from burning, as the color will change rapidly. The sugar mixture has the amber color that I want. So, let's turn off the induction cooker and immediately transfer the caramelized sugar into a cake pan. The caramelized sugar is very hot, so carefully pour into a 9-inch cake pan. Since the caramel will harden once it cools, immediately swirl the caramelized sugar using oven gloves or silicone mitts to coat the bottom of the pan. Don't worry about a few small sugar crystals, because most will eventually melt with the heat of the caramel or when baking the flan. Preheat oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Let's prepare the pumpkin mixture. Using an electric blender, add the following ingredients: 1 cup of evaporated milk, 1 can 14 ounces of sweetened condensed milk, 1 package of cream cheese cut into cubes, 5 whole eggs. 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. 1/2 teaspoon of ground ginger. A pinch of salt. 1/2 teaspoon of ground allspice. 1 teaspoon of ground cinnamon. 1/4 teaspoon of ground cloves. 1/4 teaspoon of ground nutmeg. 1 cup of pureed Caribbean pumpkin from my garden. Cover blender with lid and mix all the ingredients starting with medium speed to high speed until a smooth consistency is formed. Let's remove the lid. The pumpkin mixture has a creamy texture. The caramel has hardened completely. Now we can pour the pumpkin mixture. Place the flan into another larger baking pan. I like to use this oven pancake pan with handles. We are going to cook the flan in a water bath, baño de María. Pour sufficient warm water in the space between the 2 baking pans, leaving at least 1 inch below the rim of the pancake pan. Cover flan with foil to prevent from over-browning while baking. Place in oven at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for 1 hour or until the center of the flan is slightly firm. After 1 hour of baking, remove the foil and check for doneness. The center of the flan is set, even though it has a slight jiggle. Carefully remove the flan from the oven pancake pan and let stand to cool. Once the flan is cool enough to handle, cover the flan with aluminum foil and place in the refrigerator for 6 hours or overnight. It is time to invert the flan onto a plate after chilling overnight. I just removed the aluminum foil. Let's carefully run a knife around the inside edge of pan to loosen the flan. Sometimes the knife will pick up the dry crumbs from the side. I normally just wipe clean the knife to remove the crumbs before inserting again into pan. Now we can place a large plate over flan and invert the flan onto plate, holding together both plate and pan. slowly lift pan to release the flan. Look how beautiful the caramel is around the flan. The pumpkin flan is perfectly cooked and topped with a light caramel glaze. Cut the flan into 8 slices with a sharp knife. Enjoy a slice of this delicious Caribbean pumpkin cream cheese flan. Buen provecho. A link will be posted on how to cut, peel, cook, and package the Caribbean pumpkins. For your information, the French version of flan is called crème brûlée. Let's taste the pumpkin cream cheese flan. The flan is definitely creamy with lots of pumpkin flavor due to the fresh pureed pumpkin and spices. ¡Qué rico! When using cream cheese, the flan will have a denser texture compared to the traditional flan made with just eggs and milk. I hope you have enjoyed watching my YouTube video on how to prepare pumpkin cream cheese flan.